My university had a Barefoot Day of Awareness just yesterday, which is exactly as it sounds. You're supposed to go barefoot all day to sort of start conversations and just create awareness of people who don't have shoes, in both poor areas in the U.S. as well as abroad. But I made a few observations about also shoes in the ancient and early medieval world. So, of course, a lot of areas out in the ancient and medieval world didn't wear shoes, with the biggest exception being Rome. And in Rome, everyone wore shoes. Also in Rome, you saw, paved roads. They had concrete buildings, and you had stone roads, where everything was, stone and paved and relatively like modern roads. Whereas most other places, a lot of people went barefoot almost all the time, and they had either dirt roads or some people had wooden roads, but you wouldn't be on stone platforms most of the time, even if they had the technology to do stonework. So a lot of the Celtic peoples, including the Britons and the Gaels, had stone buildings and stone walls, but never stone roads. They would instead opt to use wooden roads. And of course they all went barefoot. And I think, after this Barefoot Day of Awareness, that this isn't a coincidence. Walking on even relatively smooth stone-like surfaces, so walking on the brick pathway down the center of campus with bare feet, was easily a lot worse than walking on, the stone floor, or the wooden floors, I should say, of old buildings, or just walking on grass, or even, a mulch pathway. Walking on stone or concrete or cement without shoes on was absolutely terrible, but walking without shoes on a flat wooden surface or just, on dirt was perfectly fine. And especially rougher areas of concrete could tear up your feet, whereas I'd never had that on a nice, well-worn wooden surface where, just from use of people walking on it, it became smooth. So I think that could explain why nobody wore shoes in the ancient world. They didn't need them. If you were, walking down a wooden Celtic road, you didn't need shoes. If you were walking, just sort of around your village, you didn't need shoes. You only needed shoes if you were going on Roman roads or in paved Roman buildings. And we see that all of the Romans, for at least the better part of all of their culture and all of their economic classes, wore shoes. So I think that's it. If you are walking on paved roads, you need shoes. But other than that, the ancient Celts and the ancient Britons and Saxons and all these less Romanized people didn't need shoes. So they just didn't bother spending time and effort to make them.